Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode on basically my kid stuff. So, in this video I'm going to be talking about my Cold War Soviet stuff. By no means this impression is complete and I'm still trying to find ways to improve it. Obviously in further future videos I'm probably going to have better stuff. But, I need to entertain you guys. So, we're going to be talking about my 1970s and 80s Soviet Cold War uniform and certain stuff that might be able to help you in starting doing Cold War reenacting, especially Soviet. Alright, let's get started with the basic kit. My weapon of choice, sadly, is an AK-47, not an AKM or an AK-74. I would like to get an AKM or an AK-74, but especially in Turkey, I have yet to find one that's reasonably priced. But I know a guy who might be selling me one, so in the future I'll probably be using an AK-74, the standard infantry version. There aren't any VDV versions that I was able to find, so this is what I have to use. I honestly don't know which maker did this, but it's an alright replica, all in all. Obviously not entirely correct for this period, but for real echelon units, I have seen photographs of Type 2, Type 1 AKs being used, so yeah. The sling itself is original, by the way, as most of the stuff that I'm wearing, since Soviet surplus is quite cheap. The main uniform that I'm currently wearing is a M69 or M73, depending on what you want to talk about, uniform, which is the most common uniform you see from the 1970s onwards in the Soviet Union. It is a quite vintage looking style uniform even for the time, because it's basically like a First and Second World War type of breeches and tunic, which is quite interesting for if you look at the rest of the world, what they were using. Obviously the Soviets going to be changing this uniform in the mid-80s with the Afghanka uniform, but those weren't becoming standard issue until the late 80s. So this is the basic uniform that you should be seeing in most reenactments. The unit that I'm trying to portray is actually Soviet pipeline troops, so they're basically guys who putting up pipelines all around the country, and they're rear echelon troops, so they're not really that going to be getting the real good juicy rifles. So rear echelon is the best way to go for this thing. The main mistake that I actually did in buying my Soviet kit was the belt. As you can see, it's the most common one you see today is the green camouflaged version of the belt buckle. In reality, these were made for in case of World War III, so these weren't actually used during peacetime, quote unquote, during the Cold War. The ones they would have been issued were the brass buckles, so I need to be getting one of those as well, along with the leather belts that they used. An AK bayonet, which isn't really that interesting. It's a generic AK bayonet. The webbing, the web set, actually, is rubberized canvas, which is made to look like leather. And I have to say it's quite comfortable, actually, compared to, World War II or even World War I kits. Even though this is basically the same thing as you would get during the earlier periods, it is quite comfortable. I mean, it probably has to do with the simplicity of the old thing, but honestly I do quite enjoy it. It's really easy to put together and it's really light to carry. The magazine pouch you can see over here is for the AK-74 actually, but sometimes these were even can be used for AKMs, I think, because obviously the airsoft magazines do fit inside these AK-74 magazines. These are actually designed to carry 3 magazines instead of the 4, even though it has 4 cells. One of the cells supposed to carry extra ammunition and stripper clips that you put onto the magazines. On my left side I have, luckily, to show you guys, replica wooden F1 Soviet type grenades. These are actually from Poland with actual F1 grenade levers, what do you want to call it, the safety pin and stuff. So these are quite nice replicas. Obviously they're wood, so they might break if you throw them hard enough on a hard surface, but For filling out pouches, they look pretty good, or movie props, which is the main thing that I do. Obviously closing them is not that easy because of the leather tabs and stuff. Obviously on my left side I have my Canteen, which isn't that much impressive because it's a generic Soviet military canteen, which is quite similar to the World War II ones, except these were made in with camouflage painting on them, khaki brown type of thing. You see the same color with the muskets as well. I have my musket inside my Soviet backpack, which I don't have currently. My left side I have my, if you can see, my shovel carrier as well as my shovel. I think the shovel that I have currently on is my Yugoslavian shovel, but I do have a Soviet shovel somewhere. Aha, there it is. Obviously this one has the Second World War cover on it. I also use the cover for World War I Russian because it's quite similar to the World War I Russian ones as well. This shovel was made in 1979, I think. There's a small, I doubt you can see it, but it does say 79 somewhere, so there you go. On my back I have my Pash Palatka, or whatever you want to call it, the Russian Soviet rain cape, shelter health, all kinds of stuff. Bedroll even, you can probably make a bedroll from it. I just rolled it back and put it inside my Y straps, which is supposed to be done when you're not carrying the the backpack, whatever that's called. I keep messing up the Russian names, obviously. And one of the main important bits, sorry about the messy hair, is the SSH-68, which was made in obviously 1968 to replace the SSH-60, which was basically a updated line. It was basically an SSH-40 with an updated liner system. This one, compared to the other Soviet helmets, has a bit more of a slope made in order to stop shrapnel, but I doubt they would actually. I mean, this is really thin steel, and I know some of these batches actually don't have really good steel. I've seen ballistic tests where these things basically shatter, so I wouldn't be trusting myself to actually get shot in the head with one of these, or let alone get shrapnel thrown at me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Going on, what else is left? Obviously, with the basic uniform, you're supposed to have, I'm not sure if you could probably see it, Soviet leather or Kirza rubberized canvas boots, which I actually don't have. I am currently wearing my World War II German boots, which are incorrect, and I will be getting Kirza boots, well, with actually dotted soles, so I could use them also for World War II Russian. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment down below, ask any questions if you have any questions, and I hope to see you guys soon in another video, most likely an updated version of this uniform, or somewhere along the line where I talk about the Soviet camouflage pattern that was issued to most soldiers, rather than the generic term that people used to use as sniper camouflage or scout camouflage. Alright, see you guys later.